Hello everyone, and welcome back to 4KB Shorts, the Let's Play of the Dig. Alright, so we're on a strange planet, and there's stuff about. Not helpful, though. Alright, so I guess we'll talk to Brink and Maggie now that we're in a new place, because that's
Brink.
super important.
How are you doing, Brink?
You mean apart from being trapped on an alien planet with no idea of how to get back?
Yeah, apart from that.
This is a pretty desolate place.
Whoever once lived here, I think they are long since gone. So much dust. Undisturbed except by our own feet.
Could also be, like the desert out in Cairo, you never know.
Can you make any sense of what you see here?
A good archaeologist doesn't expect to make sense of things until he's been digging at a site for years.
We don't have years.
Maybe years are all we have.
He's such an optimist, you can tell.
I hope you can figure some way out of this place. I don't think we'll be able to climb these walls.
In my years of studying rocks and ancient sites, I learned that sometimes the best way down is up, and sometimes the best way up is down.
Yeah, well, I hope that made sense to you, because it sure didn't make any sense to me.
Doesn't make any sense to me either.
Brink, how does Maggie seem to be holding up?
She seems to be fine, Commander.
I'm okay.
We all have to watch out for each other.
To say the least.
Thanks.
Alright, I guess we'll talk to Maggie.
Robbins. You doing okay?
Oh, I'm fine. This is the greatest story of my life. The only trouble is, I have no way of telling it to anybody.
Just record it and leave it somewhere. Maybe we'll get lucky and in a couple billion years humans will make it out here and they'll find it.
This place is as desolate as the Midwest.
Almost as desolate as the Midwest.
Reminds me of an episode of The Twilight Zone where a spaceship crashes near Reno. It crashes near Reno, and they think they're on an asteroid near Earth with atmosphere, and bad things happen. And then, of course, the last surviving person's all like, "Oh my God, I'm still on Earth." Classic Twilight Zone.
Toto, I don't think we're in Kansas anymore.
If only I had ruby slippers.
There's no place like in orbit around Earth, I guess, or that works too.
Maggie, does Brink look okay to you?
So far, he looks fine.
I'm okay, Commander. Thanks for your concern.
We all have to watch out for each other.
All right, now that we're done watching out for each other, let's get
Thanks.
moving. So let's head out, and this is where things start going south real quick.
Where are you going, Lowe?
I was gonna check for water, or some way out of here.
I think we should remain together.
Fine. Follow me.
This is no longer a space expedition, Lowe. This is an archaeological dig. Therefore, I am the obvious leader.
Fine. Whenever we need to dig something up, you can use the shovel. In the meantime, our first business is to survive. Our second task is to get home. We need to work together, and I'm still the commander of this mission.
You don't know any more about surviving on an alien world than I do.
Boston is right, Ludger. He's the one with experience in survival, and we need someone in command. This is no time for a foolish power struggle.
All right, I agree. For now.
So as you can see, like I said already, like Brink's attitude, 90 degrees, just takes a complete 90-degree turn. Doesn't pause, doesn't shift, does nothing. It's just this, the instant you land on an alien planet, he's like, well, why are you in charge? And it's like, yeah, you can bring up that attitude, but why? Why bring up that attitude? Why now? Why at this moment,
Fantastic! Look!
More proof of alien life.
Do you think there's anyone, or anything, alive?
It seems someone had to have been here.
Let's hope they're peaceful, or gone.
I like his thinking, though. Peaceful or gone. It's a good combination, Of course, there's debris and everything out here, which makes you think that maybe it crashed and they stripped it for parts. It's hard to say. But we'll head inside the wreck. I mean, we'll go look at the engine.
This alien technology is hopelessly ruined.
Yeah, you know it's an engine, though. You can tell it's on a pylon. You assume that's the engine, of course, unless these are the command pods and that's the engine.
Can you tell anything about what these people look like from the interior of their ship?
All this rust. Corrosion. Perhaps animals have moved things around. Hard to know what we're looking at. Let me look. Try not to disturb anything.
And in actuality, that's not a bad question for Lowe to ask, because the best way to tell how a people looked, or at least how they were put together, is to check out like what they sit on, what they interact with, how tall control panels are, things like that, where buttons are placed. Even if they have like lots of buttons or multiple screens or something like that, you can assume they have more limbs than normal people. So I have some hanging wire and a chest here, and I don't believe there's anything else. We'll check out the chest really quick.
Well, I don't see any treasure, but there is something in here.
We have a device.
When we get back, the engineers are going to have a field day trying to figure out how this worked. I don't want to store that here.
Oh, right. Talk to Brink about it, I guess. Show device to Brink.
Alien technology, and conveniently portable.
Like a laptop. Okay, we'll put that away, and then there's a hanging wire.
We might need this wire later. I'm going to see if I can pull it down.
First, shouldn't you turn the power off at the breaker box?
What?
That was a joke, Lowe.
Oh, yeah. Ha. Stand back in case something comes down on our heads.
Look at it. It's beautiful.
Changing shapes, mathematical progressions of ever more complex polyhedrons.
Next time I suggest pulling a wire.
No, I'm glad you did. What could that have been?
Not a random electrical discharge.
Maybe it's a kind of computer display. Maybe to the aliens who piloted this ship it conveyed some meaningful information. But to me, it means absolutely nothing.
Ah, Lowe. Very pragmatic.
It still might be useful.
Yeah, we'll take some wire, okay? And then there's this little doohickey over here. One engraved rod.
Did any of you see? Was this here before that thing appeared?
Of course it was. Do you think an electrical field can carry a solid object?
Lightning bolts have been known to throw things across fields, so yes. And we can't really take a look at it from in here. We can. I already know what's on it, but we're not going to bother looking at it just yet. So we're going to head out because that's all we needed here. I do like the electrical discharge, though, with Brink making his little joke about turning the power off at the breaker box. Kind of appropriate considering the circumstances, but whatever. Of course, Brink's joke comes at a very inopportune time. Like I said, it's really odd. His attitude takes a 90-degree turn. He's like, why should you be in charge anymore? And then you're like, huh? And then he's like, well, you know, I'm gonna do this thing, and you're interrupting him when it's like, let me take a look around. Don't talk to him, don't anything. Then you start tearing, opening crates and tearing things off the walls, and he's just like, whatever. And it's an odd personality, really.
It's indicating approximately that direction.
Alright, so we're gonna follow this little ball. Now, the ball points to things, is basically what it was, so we're gonna follow the ball.
Do you think we could climb this slope?
No use. It doesn't go up all the way to the top.
The engravings on this wall, are they writing or decoration?
You're asking us?
That's actually an honest question. It's like, Lowe's like, wait, you're the linguist. How would we know? I'm just a mission specialist, and Brink thinks that, well, Brink might know, depending on what he dug up, but Maggie would be the better one to ask.
It seems to be pointing at this mound.
It's this mound. Well, the best way to get through a mound is with a shovel.
With that device pointing at this mound, I suspect there might be something buried here.
How scientific of you, Commander.
And now he's making snide remarks. See, Brink's attitude just goes really weird.
Your instinct is failing, Commander. The hole you've bulldozed here is quite useless.
Maybe not. I thought I saw something shining. An artifact.
Ooh, I like me some artifacts, Indiana Jones style.
It looks like a bracelet.
So now we have a bracelet we can work with, and if we use this, I believe...
It's pointing at me.
Yeah, so basically it points at whatever the bracelet is attached to. It's like a tracking device, which is really awesome. Except unlike a GPS device, which would show you where you are on a planet, it just shows you where your little device is.
Not just plants, but creatures too. I'm not an archaeologist, but these look like bones to me.
But they are not lying where the animal died. They were placed here. Markers.
A grave?
Best guess.
And now a home for those rat-like things.
Well, nobody's perfect, Lowe. You know, we bury stuff 6 feet under because that's the minimum depth required for animals not to smell the rotting meat. So if you just bury them in a shallow grave, you're going to end up with rotten stuff. Eyeballs.
Something's looking at me.
That's funny.
It looks like something is buried here.
Okay, well that's fairly obvious. Well, if nothing else, let's go grave robbing.
What? Are you just going to dig right in? With a shovel? You will destroy the site.
I'm not doing archaeology right now, Brink. I'm looking for something to help get us home.
Your name will live forever. As the bone-headed space hero who destroyed precious data at the first alien archaeological site.
That's better than having my name live forever. As a commander of an expedition that disappeared and was never heard from again. Now get out of the way if you aren't gonna help, Brink. This might take a while.
I like how they had Brink stand there all, you know, uppity with his hands behind his back.
What a fine accomplishment, Commander. Now we have a pile of meaningless dirt and bones.
Maybe not. You never know when an alien bone will prove useful.
That was a very odd comment from her, but whatever, we'll take it. So we're gonna grab the tusk.
This is light, but it feels as strong as steel.
Awesome, and then we're gonna grab the jawbone. Possibly of an ass.
What do you think? Was this the skull of a sentient being? Or a pet? Or a beast of burden?
I don't know, but I'm pretty sure it's dead.
It's a strange-shaped jawbone. The teeth still look strong.
Now, I'm gonna go ahead and kind of throw out a spoiler here. You know, in a Let's Play that's really odd, but I'm gonna throw out a spoiler here, and the spoiler is that that statement is actually kind of wrong. They should have said that the teeth look sharp, not strong. Strong is actually not very helpful for what the jawbone is used for. But, of course, if you've ever seen anything weird, you know that jawbones can sometimes be used as hacksaws.
I think we can safely say this is not a natural weather phenomenon.
How about a mirage? Anyone voting for it being a mirage?
It knew we were here. It was trying to tell us something. Or show us something.
Don't be too quick to anthropomorphize.
How do we know what life looks like here?
It might be alive. Or it might be some kind of automatic guidance system. We triggered it in that ruined ship and now it's leading us.
You mean this is the last gasp of a holographic tour guide?
Or the Port Authority. Maybe it's telling us we're under arrest. Come quietly or self-aiming lasers will toast us to cinders in 15 seconds.
Stop it. Maybe you can think that's funny, but the last thing I need is some mischievous boy trying to give me the creeps.
If I wanted to give you the creeps, I'd tell you that it was the ghost of a long-dead alien.
How do you know it isn't a ghost?
What? You think this is where aliens end up when they die? If it is, then this place better be hell, because it sure isn't my idea of heaven.
Now you're starting to give me the creeps.
You're all pretty creepy in your own way, Lowe. Alright, so now we have a small hole.
It's too small and dark to see if this hole leads anywhere.
Let's use our flashlight,
The flashlight won't help.
Oh no. So let's use our shovel. There you go. I just wanted to see if the flashlight would work. Never tried it before.
I'm gonna see if I can enlarge the hole. Maybe there's something under here.
Yeah, maybe something lives down in that hole.
The utterances of experts.
The ground is soft here, loose. I think this used to be an opening, and over the years, wind has filled it up with sand and dirt.
Here, let me see. Yes, that's right. You're probably right.
That means the ground is treacherous. It could be hollow under there.
Commander, I think it's time for an archaeologist to do the digging. I'm used to dealing with drifted soil.
The shovel is yours, Brink. Just be careful. The ground's pretty unstable. My feet kept sinking.
My whole training is to be careful. Not to charge in with guns blazing.
And again, with the insults.
Finally, a good use for my extensive training.
No! It's completely...
I can't!
No! Brink! I couldn't get to him in time. I couldn't.
It happened too fast. Can we get down there? How long a drop is it?
Looks like the rubble has formed a ramp. Follow me.
Some of the smoothest animation I've ever seen for a character.
Here he is. He's not moving.
Brink! Boston. He's dead.
I should have been the one digging.
Then you'd be the dead one.
It was my responsibility to.
Brink and I are not children or trained monkeys. We're responsible adults. It could have been any of us, and there's not a thing you could have done to prevent it.
But to lose Brink, and we've only been up here.
Look, you can't keep me safe, and I can't keep you safe. So there's no particular reason for us to stay together. Our odds of getting back to Earth are better if we work separately on figuring this place out.
I don't like the idea of splitting up.
Why? Because we're safer together? Ask Brink about that.
Because maybe I won't know what I'm seeing without you to help me understand it.
If you find something interesting, the communicators still work. Till then, adios, ciao, sayonara, auf Wiedersehen.
Maggie, it's against every rule of military action for an officer to be separated from his command.
Boston, this isn't a military action. And you don't have a command. There's just you and me, and we both know exactly the same amount about this situation, which is to say, nada, nothing, zip. If we suddenly find ourselves facing an army, then you're in command again. Until then, adios, ciao, sayonara, auf Wiedersehen.
Nobody likes you when you smart off like that.
Yeah, all my psychological tests as a kid said that I didn't work well with others.
So this is what failure feels like.
Don't give up, Commander Lowe. We still love you. I do like the fact that Lowe picks up the shovel himself because it's right here and it's very hard to see. It is in the scene, but it's very difficult to see, which would mean that you could easily miss it. So I do like the fact that they had him pick it up. Also, with Maggie's sudden attitude change with Brink's death, it's not like she blames Lowe. What I think is hilarious about it, I think they used it as an excuse. Like, from Maggie's perspective, it's an excuse to go off and explore on her own. Like, her curiosity has gone above and beyond, and even though she's with Lowe where it's safe, you know, because there's two of them, she knows that he'd always be like, wait, don't touch that, wait, don't do that, wait, you know, or I have to make sure it's safe, or I have to go first. And she kind of wants to get away from that. From a gameplay's perspective, it's basically, you don't have to deal with an escort quest, which makes it 10 times better. Honestly, it makes it 10 times better, but that's really what it is.
Looks like one of the control plates we found on Attila.
Alright, so we got ourselves a plate. We love ourselves some plates. Now, on the screen that I'm using this with, I'm getting a little bit of screen lag here, but it's not showing up in the actual game. I'm wondering if it is in the actual game. That kind of makes me upset if it is. Let me go ahead and do something really quick.
Somebody spent a long time engraving these smooth grooves on the surface of this column. I wish I knew what for.
To make the column pretty. Ooh, engraved rod. Let's grab that.
Another one of these engraved sticks. What are they, wands, batons, bludgeons? Maybe some kind of handheld computer game. With my luck, it's a hand grenade.
It's a hand grenade. Okay, Lowe. Alright, so we're gonna head this way again. And I kind of want to check my frame rate because, I don't know, it seems...
The door is shut tight.
Nice observation, because it seems jumpy. But at the same time, I'm not entirely sure why it's jumpy. That's an upsetting thing. Ooh, dark tunnel. Let's, actually, we're going to head down this ramp is where we're going to head first. We're not going to head down the dark tunnel.
It's hot here, and it's glowing down there. 10 to 1, it's the power source for this place. All I need to do now is to find the light switch, or the plug, or the fuse box, or whatever makes this thing work. An instruction manual might help, maybe a map, and I could use a sandwich, and a hot jukebox and a cold beer, or just a starship headed for home. Get a grip, Boston.
I do love that speech, though. It's such a great speech. A hot jukebox or a cold beer. Now, like I said, I am getting some frame rate jumpiness on my screen, but it looks like it's actually recording pretty well. So I'm going to leave it. I'm not going to mess with it. Oh, it just makes that very hard to see. Let's put that back. We can put that back so at least we can have some light. And then we get to play with some buttons. Let's see, triangular button, control panel. Let's go with the control panel really quick. And now I have to remember how to do this. That's the reset button. That's the go button, I think. No, that's backspace, that's clear. Alright, so what do we want? We want, no, backspace. There it is, okay, and then try that, I think. And then what we do is we exit, which I believe is, here. And we go over here and we push this button. And there it is. Okay, so I missed it by a little bit. It actually wasn't bad, it was fairly close. So what we're going for is we're going for grab the little thing on the ground and then do something with it. So that was down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, over 3, 4, 5, grab 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and then do that. And I'm guessing here, so if I get this right on the first try, don't think I'm cheating. I'm honestly just guessing and trying to go by memory. This puzzle has never been my friend. Alright, looks like we missed a little bit. So we'll try that again. Let's go ahead and go back to the control panel, and I believe it is... 5 was too many, and it takes too long to reverse. Let's go ahead and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, grab, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, do something else, and then back up. Alright, try that one more time. Get it? Okay, now I'm off by one more. So that's close. That was close. We're getting close. We're off by like 1. So let's see. 4 by 3 by 6 by 2. 4 by 3 by 6 by 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2. Actually, let's back that one up. Try 1. Okay, there we go. Try that one more time. So there's a little bit of trial and error with this particular puzzle. It's not bad. It's just a little bit of trial and error. And I do see that the frame rate drops when this happens. Whoa, why did that go so south like that? What is up with that? Okay, that was weird. 3 didn't work. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go with that. We'll do the second part after. We gotta grab that dealy bobber down there first. That's 4. That's 4. Oh, 5. That's what I did wrong. Alright, that's what I did wrong, that's what I did wrong. I subtracted when I should have added, so let's back up by 1. Do one more grab. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2. Do something else. We'll see if that one works. That should, of course, be closer to what we want. I hope. We'll find out. And down, and left, and grab. Did not grab. Why did not grab? That should have been perfect. Alright, so I guess we're 3 by 5 by 6 by 2. 3 by 5 by 6 by 2. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Whoop, 6 by 2. But actually, let's do that by 1. Do that one, because it looked like 2 might have been too far. But since we haven't even grabbed the little thing yet, it's pointless to even try. No, hit the button, Lowe. Lowe's like, what? Alright, having a little bit more trouble with this than I should be. I think it's because that frame rate's bugging the crud out of me. Okay, let's try 2. 2 by, what, 2 by 5 by 6 by 1? 2 by 5 by 6 by 1. We'll try that. Oop. 1, 2, not grab. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, no, 2 by 5 by 6 by 1. Right? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll not do the left one. We'll try it like that. Try it again, Lowe. And what do we get? Yeah, we at least picked it up this time. And did we? Did we? Oh, look at that. We got it set perfectly. Okay, you gotta actually. There it goes. There it goes. Alright, now we're gonna grab our little blue crystal here, because we can. And then we're gonna head back up the stairs. Because if you can pick it up, take it with you. We'll just call that Borden's rule of etiquette. Excellent. Now from here, let's see. Dark tunnel, dark tunnel, dark tunnel. I don't think so. I don't think so. We have some place we need to go. And to get there, to look at some of these panels here. Alright, so now what we need to do is this is how these puzzles work. Let's take a quick look at this.
It's a rod, engraved. 5 geometric shapes.
Alright, I think this one works. Yeah, this one actually works. So it's blue square, red block. That's why I call it a block. I don't even know what the heck shape that's supposed to be. So blue square, red block, blue, blue. Okay, and then those are hexagons. Octagons. So it's square, block, square, block, octagon, octagon. And that's blue, red, blue, blue. Okay. So we want blue square. And to get them, you have to just keep going around and around and around. It's a little bit annoying. This is one of the a few annoying things, but luckily you only have to do it once. Right? And there's that, and then we'll keep going. And unfortunately, you can't right-click to reverse, so if you miss it, you have to go all the way around again. It's very, 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 very annoying, but not too terrible. That's actually the wrong one. We want that one. All right. So as I said, if you get the wrong one, you have to go all the way around again. There's only 4 colors, I believe, so that's not really that big a deal. But you can tell if you got it right or not by that. Okay. So that does not work for that door. That is the wrong door. I think. Did we want to go? Well, you know what? We'll go down the dark tunnel first. Might as well. Can't stop ourselves. Flashlight time! Checking to make sure it works. Some wonderful 3D effects here, walking down a darkened tunnel. That'd be so creepy in first person like that. You have no idea if you're gonna turn around the corner and get eaten. It's like something just jumps out and grabs your face. I'm like, oh. Scary. I do like how Lowe points his flashlight at the shadow like it's something. He's like, oh, am I gonna turn the corner and see something horrible? Then it's a rock. Okay, it's a rock, we're cool. Yay, we made it! Wherever it is. Oop, lost my mouse. Lost my mouse. Where'd you go? Oh, there it is. Ooh, bad frame rate is bad. Now, as I said, the screen I'm using this on, it has a very poor frame rate. However, the screen that is showing me what's being recorded, which happens because of the recording software I'm using, is showing it at full frame. So I'm not entirely sure how the frame rate is. I'll have to double check it. But with all that animation going on, scary, scary stuff. Alright, now push that button again there, Lowe. Alright, we got ourselves an airlock going on here. And we'll head inside the airlock door. Plus I can't really see the icon
This
against
looks
the
like a
screen.
command center.
Does it now? Oh, cool, we got some glowing panels. Yeah, glowing panels. Let's head to the glowing panel, because glowing panels are always important, right? Absolutely. Okay, so we have some glowy paneling here stuff, and we have...
This hole is empty. It's an energized crystal.
Okay, I know what this is for. This is not for what I thought it was. We don't actually need to be here yet. That's actually a good thing, technically speaking. Now, because of the frame rate issue, I'm just gonna double tap and just skim out because let's go ahead and tap that, and again. Okay, so we don't need to mess with this just yet because what we need is not here. And then we'll head back the other way. And if I remember correctly, again, as I said, in my screen, the frame rate's bad, but in the actual gameplay screen, it's not so bad. Alright, so Lowe came out here, and we'll head this way. And so we need to get one of these sealed doors open. Alright, so we only have one block to work with, so all of these are basically going to be tried with that one block that we have, the one that tells us exactly which one we need. So it's that one, and then back to the blue. And I do not like how annoying those little things are, because if there were an easier way to do this, that'd be fine, but you have to remember this was originally released in DOS, and so things like sliding through different stuff or hyper-clicking or a lot of stuff like that, it really wasn't covered. It didn't come out at that time.
I hope this was a good idea.
Me too, Commander Lowe.
So what is through this door? A death trap? A mad scientist with a pretty girl and a talking robot? An alien cafeteria? Why am I just standing here? After all, as Brink found out, the worst thing that can happen is you can take one wrong step and you're dead.
Very true, Commander Lowe. And on that note, before we go through the scary door, we are going to pause here because it has been time. So, I am going to check to make sure that the frame rate was okay. If it's too terrible, I may have to go through that section again. I hope not. However, if it's good or if it's at least playable or watchable, we will be continuing, of course, forward in the next video. So once again, I would like to thank you all very much for joining me, 4KB Short, on this Let's Play of The Dig. And in the next video, the scary door. So I will see you guys there.